What is going on? Chris with Journals, Comics and Pop Culture. Hope everyone is having a great day today, guys. And this video is talking a little bit about how to sell your comics. And you may be asking, why the heck will we be selling our comics? But hey, it happens. Before I go into this video, I wanted to point out, as you guys see on screen, hang in there. Better days are coming for our local comic book stores with everything going on. I just wanted to let everyone know as a reminder to keep supporting your local comic book shops in any way that you possibly can, whether that is through mail order, through if they have live stream sales, or curbside pickup, whatever the case may be, keep on supporting your local shops. So, with that being said, guys, if you are somebody that is looking to sell your comic books, how should you go about it? Now, this isn't a black or white uh, question, and it's not a black or white answer. The main question that I received while I'm making this video was, I am giving up my collection. I'm selling it off, except for my big keys, and I want to know if I should sell it to an LCS. Now, first and foremost, you got to know what you have in that lot still. And the individual asking the question actually did state that there was some decent books that are probably worth anywhere from 10 to $40 or so that are still in that mix. So if you got a pile like this sitting around and you're thinking about bringing it to an LCS to sell, consider your options. First off, the first thing that I would always ask myself if I was selling is, what do I have time for, right? So if you're in a situation where you don't really care about maximizing your return, right? If you don't care about maximizing what you get for your books and you just want to get them off fast and you'll be happy with something in your pocket, then your decision is going to go one way, okay? If you have all the time in the world and you're specifically wanting the highest dollar amount that you can get for those comics, you're going to be off on in the complete opposite direction on what you want to do with your books, right? You might be somewhere in the middle of that where it's like, I don't want to spend a lot of energy and try to sell these comics, but yet I still want a decent price for what I have. So those are the first things that you need to ask yourself. And if you're willing to put more energy into the sale, then you're gonna get more bang for your buck back. And that's just the fact of a matter, right? So I mean, let's look at specifically LCSs. When you go and sell to an LCS, you got to understand most of them anyways have a ton of stock, right? So if it's not something that they can put on the wall as a wall book and sell for a solid dollar price, they might not want it in the first place. So, if you bring in a long box or a couple boxes or big stacks of comics to a comic book store saying, hey, what can I get for these? They might not even look through it, and they might literally give you a penny a book, or 5 cents a book, without even looking, because they're hoping that you want to get it off fast and that they can find something in there that makes them money. Because more or less, if you think about it, run fillers are run fillers, and a lot of stores have run fillers on their hands for a long period of time. The rate of sale is not as high as a book that holds at least a decent amount of value. So any book that's a run filler that you could sell for anywhere from a dollar to even $5, the rate of sale is going to be lower, and you're in the store is taking a bigger chance. Okay, so the question is, do they even want your books in the first place? And that's going to gauge if they're even going to put any kind of offer on the table for you. Because again, I mean, you're looking at comic book shops that have dozens and dozens and even hundreds of back issue bins, right? And it's going to be thrown in there, hoping that someday down the road somebody is going to pull that out. Now, this is what I would do because of one simple fact. Okay, even if the LCS takes the time to go through your box, they are going to give you pennies to the dollar. They are. So even if you have, let's say, what's a decent book right now? Let's look at Uncanny X-Men Annual number 14, first cameo of Gambit, right? This book is a hot seller right now. I mean, but you can still find a near mint copy, close to near mint copy, maybe like a 9.0 to maybe a 9.4 for around $25 to $30. If you're lucky, maybe a little more, right? If you bring that to a comic book shop, you're gonna get probably at best a dime to the dollar. And that's at best. And that's 10% of what that book is worth, right? So let's just say that book is worth $40. You're probably not going to get offered no more than $5 for that book. Most likely even less, maybe even half of that. Because the comic book store, and this is not a knock on comic book stores, we have to understand the business that they're in. Comic book stores are a business that need to make sure that they are maximizing their bottom line, that they are maximizing their profit margin on every single thing that they bring into their inventory. And that includes decent key books. Okay? It's not going to be worth it for them to even give you half of a value of that book. Unless, I mean, you got to really look at a book that is going to have a fast return of sale, right? So I mean, if you're looking at like a Silver Age key, like a Fantastic Four #1 or something, I mean, or a Hulk 181, that's different. Those are uh, uh, in a league of their own, to where if you got someone in that's hungry to get that needs to sell this book because they need to pay some medical bills or what case, and that book's a $5,000 book easily, then an LCS is going to sit there and play the ball game of bargaining, and they're not going to give you 5 or 10 cents to the dollar for something like that because they know that they can flip. But again, your regular cream of the crop, standard mill of books, your everyday stuff, it's not going to get you much at all. So the best option, if you have all the time in the world, right, and you want to um, take your time to sell your books, you have to really do the homework, and it's gonna take days and weeks probably. You're gonna have to utilize your resources, utilize Overstreet. You want to utilize Comic Book Realm or Go Collect or Cover Price, and you want to really gauge what you have, really gauge the grade, and then your best option probably is creating an eBay store. But if that's not you, if you're not a seller that wants to maximize each individual book, there's multiple other ways that you can do it while still getting a decent sale price. One of those is, well, there two of options are on Facebook. Okay, one of them is the marketplace, and there's many other things out there like Craigslist. There's the Mercari selling app. Okay, but what you can do, and this is what I recommend for those that want to sell their collection and they want to still get a decent amount, don't take the time to sell individual books unless they're key books. Go through that collection. If you have any books that are, you know, $15, $20 or more, you might want to bundle those up into a key book lot, right? But what I would do is take your collection and bundle them up into lots. So say you have Avenger stuff or Avenger character stuff like Iron Man books or Thor books. You can bundle them up into an Avengers lot and do a decent price where you have a 40 book lot and you want to sell it for $30. Because then you're getting basically 75 cents or so a book, well, about 66 cents. Nope, that's 25. I had to do quick math in my head. $30 for 40 books. That's 75% to the dollar, 75 cents a book. And that's decent. That's still more than probably what you're going to get bringing it to an LCS. So you could go on places like Marketplace and create lots. As you can see here, that's what some of these individuals are doing. 100 book random lot for $50. It's 50 cents a book. A comic book lot for 200. You got Key Marvel and DC Collection for 1,000. Now that's probably, I haven't looked at these individual lots. They're probably kind of going with an extreme number there because you got some sellers try to, how do I say this nicely? Get a sell off to those people that don't know what they're doing. And I don't like that. That's a whole other video and a whole other conversation that I'm not going to get into. But you want to be fair. If you're using these resources, you want to be fair. You want to try to maximize, but you want to be fair to the market. So again, breaking down your collection into smaller lots, I think is ultimately probably the best way that you can go. It's a middle ground that'll bring you a decent return on sale or a return on investment. Now, another thing to do is go be a part of Facebook comic book groups, like this group here, Comic Book Collecting, Buy, Sell, and Trade. This is a book, excuse me, this is a group where you have thousands of like-minded people looking to buy, sell, and trade, just like you. And these people know what they're doing for the most part. They have some kind of inclination of the market, and they're looking for a decent deal, but they're going to be educated to what they're wanting to buy, and it can really work. I've done this with sellers. I've found sellers on these groups and have sent them my screenshots from my CLZ app of runs that I'm collecting because I'm a run collector, and they'll see which holes I'm missing in my runs, and they'll pull out books, and you could put together a 50 lot Bronze Age Superman lot for $70 for 50 books and say, hey, there you go. That works for me as a buyer. So you can really tend to the buyer's needs by going onto sites like this. And I recommend buyers to go onto group sites and groups like this too, if you're looking for that sort of thing. So again, to answer the ultimate question, should you sell to LCSs? Should you sell to comic book shops? And again, this is no knock to comic book shops because I'm all about supporting the shops and I'm not painting them in a bad light by stating this. Comic book shops have to make their money. It has to be worth it for them. If you are willing to take at least some sort of time and energy, I highly recommend going with the middle ground and breaking down your collection into small lots and trying to sell on marketplaces, on Facebook, Craigslist, um, Facebook groups, Mercari selling app, and so forth, and just see what's out there. And if you don't have any luck, hey, then the LCS, the comic book shop, is always there to at least get some money in your pocket, and that's a great thing. And at the end of the day, you're helping out an LCS, especially in these times. If you're really looking to sell your books and you want to get them off, maybe you need money. Maybe you don't have the means or the time to wait around trying to sell them yourself like that. So you might ultimately be forced to take it down to a comic book shop. But here's the last thing I'm going to say too. For those that may be forced to take it to a comic book shop, don't be afraid to bargain. Don't be afraid to bargain, okay? Don't be afraid to negotiate what you think is fair. All right? Because again, you got to understand it's a business and you got to play that game, okay? Now, lastly, even if you're going to an LCS to sell your collection off, be decently educated. Okay, be decently educated. Like I said, still flip through your books. Try to pick out what may be keys or minor keys or books that are worth $15, $20 or more. Separate those. You're only going to be doing yourself a favor. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful for all you guys. I really don't, I'm not advocating people to go off and sell their collection, but ultimately it happens and some folks might be in need of doing it right now considering the crisis. Some people might be home, uh, laid off from their jobs, and they might not have any other choice. So if you are in that boat and if you are one of those individuals, I hope that this could be helpful for you. Please leave some comments below. Ask some questions. I'm willing to get into conversation about this with you guys. If you really are in a desperate situation, reach out to me and let me kind of point you further into the right direction. I'm willing to do that because I don't want to see anybody suffering in these times, whether that be individuals like myself or LCS stores and store owners. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Leave some comments. Let me know what you guys think. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And until next time.